talk facilitation, Jerry.
Yeah. Hey, I put the fun in dysfunction, man.
Everything in facilitation is designed to reduce dysfunction
and increase consensus. Does my head look fat? I'm backing up now. Whoa, dude, that was a facilitation fail.
Consensus is?
I can live with it and support it. That's
right,
the thing I'm going to get a tattoo of right there.
Here we go. Facilitation straight talk.
Boom.
Boom.
Round 3.
Welcome, leaders, to our final episode of our Facilitation Introductory series. These videos have reignited Jerry and I's passion for using facilitation to empower people and to solve their problems. For episode 3, we want to talk in a little more detail about something we mentioned in the last video, facilitator roles. As you will see, a person running a group event is responsible for some things, but they're not responsible for other things. And many facilitation fails are born from a facilitator not living up to the roles they should fill, or on the other hand, stepping outside the bounds of their roles, thereby causing dysfunction. And what's our mantra, Jerry, about facilitation? Everything in facilitation is designed to reduce dysfunction
and increase consensus. Okay, but before we talk about the specific roles that a facilitator plays, I'd like to talk about being a facilitator itself in general. It doesn't come easy. It requires lots of training and practice. I had this mini epiphany the other day, and I've never told Aaron this before, but before the training, I really believed that I was a facilitative leader. I used to lead groups. I would go around the room and when I led meetings or working groups and made sure that everybody was heard. And I took really good notes. What I've come to realize is what I was doing was I was just taking in information. I was getting opposing viewpoints to strengthen the decision I had already made in my mind. Yeah. And that's not facilitation. It's not facilitation because, well, mainly because I wasn't neutral, right? We're going to probably do a lot of videos about neutrality or talk about it later, but let me touch upon it here, right? Facilitators are responsible for the context, but they're not in control of the content. What this means is when you're leading people through processes, right, as we put out in our last video, you do not add your own motive and your own input. This is really hard to do, especially when you're very passionate about an issue, as many of us often are. What I've learned is that it takes skills to maintain your neutrality when you're leading a group of people through a process to that endpoint, to that product, to that purpose that your group sponsor wants. It's a lot to juggle. Let's talk about how we do it. Back to you, Aaron.
So there are 3 other roles that a facilitator plays. It's the guide, it's the motivator, and it's the social adept. So I'll start us off, Jerry, with the guide. This role should resonate with military members who've had plenty of practice marching in formation, right? The guide is the one who's at the front of the formation, leading the group and following the commands of whatever echelon leader. So they don't give out the commands, but they ensure that the group gets to where their leader wants them to go by being out front. The same is true for facilitation. The sponsor outlines the purpose, the product, and the scope, but the facilitator is the guide that leads the people through the process to reach that promised land. It keeps the group focused, keeps them on track, and productive, which leads to the next role, Jerry.
Right, the motivator. I'm not surprised you gave this part to me, right? When you're working in a team, it can be exhausting. We all know that to be true. But it's one of the roles of that facilitator to keep that energy level up and keep it positive. We do this obviously through praising and praising people's effort and providing encouragement, and sometimes when needed, a timely break. We've all seen the group take on the energy level of the leader. When someone walks in a room and says, well, we're not going to leave this room until we have a solution, it's completely different than when someone like Aaron and I walk in the room and say, here's the problem, we all know what it is, but here's what's exciting. We're going to work on it, and you're all empowered to solve it, right? That's keeping the energy set high from the very beginning. In our course, we teach in depth how to keep yourself focused, motivated, and energetic, so your groups will also be those things. Back to you, Aaron.
All right, so the final role is that of the social adept. A facilitator should possess a wide range of social skills. They must be able to see signs of dysfunction, the energy level, and how far the group has progressed in team formation, but always adjusting and adapting to meet the needs of that group and individuals in that group. They must also use their ears to hear. Active listening is a key skill for a facilitator. And it's not just understanding what a person is saying out loud, but what is their body language saying? The nonverbals. And to take it even a level deeper, what is the person really saying? Not just the words, but the meaning and the context underneath.
Exactly, Aaron. And I think one of the ways you do that, and this is the third part, is to form a bond with that group. I talked to you about neutrality earlier, but you have to be a trusted agent. And so you bond yourself to that group through healthy communication and, quite frankly, just honesty. But more than that, more than becoming that trusted agent, is you need to get your group to bond with one another. But I'll say here, to bond the group together, you need to find those similarities where there are differences and bring the group together when it starts to want to divide. Back to you, Aaron.
Absolutely. So, facilitator is a role, guide is a role, motivator is a role, as well as social adept. So, to kind of wrap up these 3 videos that we've done to kind of introduce you to facilitation in the government and the military, we've really enjoyed creating them. And so we hope you've enjoyed watching them as well. Facilitation is not rocket science. It's not a magic formula. Each group is different, as are the problems that they're trying to solve. Facilitation skills are an excellent addition to your leadership toolkit. So it doesn't matter what your rank, billet, echelon, responsibilities. Leadership is all about people, not things. So why wouldn't you want to increase your ability to help people through process to solve your most important problems? All right, Jerry, over to you to close this out.
So in closing, we'd like to thank everybody for supporting these first few videos. Special shout out to our close friend, Kim Rooster Rossiter. He's the founder and president of an awesome organization called Ainsley's Angels. And he and another good friend of ours, Joe Orth, have put together an excellent podcast called Together We Shall. You should check it out. It's both uplifting and entertaining at the same time. Thanks for the awesome advice, Rooster. And to everybody else, keep the likes, keep the comments coming. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Boom.
Boom.